I just want to
What's
say
up?
before we start, you guys know this obviously, but I did not know Coach Harbaugh was getting fired, and I agreed to the get on here before. I would very much like to not be the first voice after, but
Hmm.
I committed, a man of my word. So before we get started, I'm not just getting on here because you got fired, but I appreciate you guys. Good to see you.
Yeah, I know, Charlie. I want people to know we didn't say like, "Hey, dude, come on to talk about all this," because
And
that's
we
not the
agreed well
case.
before that.
Yeah, dude. So Nick, friend of the show, friend of the program, he says it's the Nick Moore show. Nick wanted to come on and chat because you were coming on, not because of us. Um, Nick had to do his family time, but yeah, I wanted to just talk about the year. I was telling people I know Harbs on a personal level, families do. Um, and I don't need to, I'm not going to grill you on any of that stuff. It's not what it's about.
We
Harbs in
can,
general.
we can talk about it. I
Um,
mean, it's pretty big news. It's all right. I'm saying we don't have to avoid it. I was just saying, make sure
okay.
everyone listening know that was not the reason I got on. I got on because I agreed to it beforehand.
Okay, good. You said it, not me. Hey, but maybe just your initial reaction. Like,
I, I found out the same way everyone did. I got a text from my friend's group chat. The Harbaugh got fired, and I looked on Twitter and saw it was true. Um, yeah, I mean, certainly shocked. I'm not like I try to be as focused as possible. But like, I have a phone, I have social media. I'm not naive. Like, I see, there have been frustrations and stuff within the fan base. I have a lot of respect for Coach Harbaugh. I mean, what he's done. Like, I heard briefly before I got on, you guys talking about it. Pretty incredible to be at one job in general for 18 years, let alone the head coach of a football team. I think it shows a lot of testament to him. You know, the professionalism of the team. Uh, like we're not worried about like off the field issues. Like there's not like rat. I know other teams have had issues with like sexual misconduct stuff, and there's rats in the locker room, and people are there's stealing money, but like it's always been about football with the Ravens, and I have a ton of respect for that. A ton of respect for Coach Harbs and what he did. I guess I see like obviously we underachieved this year. We're preseason Super Bowl favorites, um, and then we didn't make the playoffs. So like it's disappointing. And this is a results driven business, and most of the time when you underachieve, someone has to pay the price. And I got a lot of respect for Harbs. Shooting must have shot him a text. I'm praying for him and appreciate him. But yeah, quite a day for Ravens news.
yeah, I mean, the thing for Harbs, whether people wanted this move or not from the public, I tell people a lot, when you're saying, oh, well, the Ravens, all X, Y, and Z, you want to talk about the negative of how things ended. Harbaugh, the Ravens been around for 30 years. Harbaugh has been a part of that for over half of that. And he became such a huge part of that. So whether it became the time, and it sounded like Bashotti, Steve's the one that made the call on it. I don't know if that
I,
was just from what I've seen. So
is that
like,
news? I have not seen that. I just saw the
no,
game.
so that is, yeah. Just to inform you, that's what
Okay.
it seemed where a lot of people thought he was, and then Steve's the one that came out and said, "I made the decision." And yeah, but Harbaugh's. We're talking about being a Raven. Like Harbaugh has embodied that. He has been a Raven for 18 years. One thing I want you to touch on real quick, Charlie, because a lot of this, when people want to look at all the reports. And you guys, as much as you say you want to keep out of it, you're aware. But one thing I want to at least clear the air on, when everyone said, "Oh, this team wasn't fighting," to me, that you guys fought until literally the zeros were on the clock, and you could see in the face. I think you tweeted out a good way to put it: pain. Like the quit. There was you
Yeah,
guys
I was drinking
fought
beer
your
last night
ass
too.
off,
So.
dude. Fought your ass off.
Yeah, I try not to tweet too much, but I was drinking beers last night, and I was just sad, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is miserable. I mean, I don't. I got issue with questioning the effort. I feel like if you turn on the tape, it's there from everyone. Obviously, the performance was not there. I mean, we went 8-9. We lost winning and getting in the playoffs. You got to win those games. We're gonna do that. So, yeah, I can. I mean, I know for myself. I feel like my teammates saying, but I can look myself in the mirror and like, I'm not happy. It's like, but I can lay my head down at night and know that I gave it everything I had in preparation in the off season and then playing. I think most guys feel the same way. So I hope that showed. But yeah, obviously, I'm a fan of sports too. Like I get it. Like I'm from Oklahoma. I've always been a Thunder fan. Like I can't go out there and play like they can, but I'm sure gonna yell when they don't, and I'm gonna be upset. And so like I get it. Like I get it's frustrating, but I just like from my perspective, I know that like we gave it everything we had, and we came up short. That's sports, and it sucks.
Yeah, here's the thing: the reality, the kick goes not wide right and clips inside the upright. We're not even having this conversation.
Yeah, it's
Like
crazy.
you guys are getting ready for H Town and the
Yeah.
Texans. That's as little as it is. But Zach and Kev, I have one question for you each, and then I'll let you get on out of here and relax. But Zach, go ahead.
Yeah, Charlie talked about just kind of the season and obviously not the result you wanted, but for you personally, one of your probably the best season as, with a lot of the receiving yards and then obviously blocking statistics. For you, what was it like in the hard work going in, putting it in to go into this season? And was that something that you focused on, knowing, especially early in the year, Isaiah Likely, he was down for a little bit, knowing maybe more opportunities were coming your way. What was your mindset and the work you put in like to kind of have this year where you took that next step again?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, I knew it was my contract year, I knew it was a big year, but I feel that the NFL is kind of like every job. It's oftentimes what you put in the off season and then the prior years. And I feel like, I came into the league just frankly, I was just so weak. I had two core surgeries in 2 years, and I was just such not the athlete I had the potential to be. And there's so much degradation in the season. It takes off seasons to, get back, get stronger, get healthier. I feel like the ability to stack multiple years in a row healthy just really, really is a huge boon and advantage, and everyone in the NFL knows that. And I feel like just personally, just really taking a pride in what my role was. Um, I've said it before. Obviously, I want more targets. Everyone wants more targets, and I feel like I made good plays when I got those targets. But I can only control what I did. I feel like I made those plays in the past game. I was open, and then in the run game, I felt like I really took the next step. I thought I was pretty solid my first year doing it, and which was my second year, and then third year I thought I was pretty good. I thought I took a really good step this year. Getting a lot more dominant on the edge, able to actually create movement. These DENs there's some boys, like there's some dogs out there. So to move another grown man against his will is incredibly difficult, and I feel like I got a lot better about that throughout the year, and I was able to really, especially the last month of the season, I thought Pat and I did a really good job on the edge, creating some run lanes, and obviously the O line, Isaiah and Mark, but I play with Pat primarily.
Mhm.
Uh, so I have a lot of pride in that myself, and I can as frustrated as I am with the season, I can look back and take pride in how I've grown, and I feel like I've put myself in a good spot going into my free agency year. I'm actually really happy that and grateful that free agency isn't for a while because I feel, and a lot of players I know agree with this, there's just so many emotions at the end of the year that I would not want to be making a decision about my future right now. I really just want to sleep and eat and relax. And so I'm glad we get some downtime. But yeah, I feel like I did the best I could this year.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, decompress.
Yeah.
And if your drink of choice is Bud or sorry beer, whatever it is, mine's tequila, and I drink vodka, and then I'll have some cervezas. It's a grind. The season you put so much time and effort in. You need to decompress. Kev, question real quick.
Yeah, Charlie, I know that, at least coming into this year, all three of you guys were slated to hit free agency. I know Mark got his extension, but to me, you
Impact, yeah.
three,
Impact, yeah, for.
yeah, well, all four of you guys. But I mean, for you guys all hitting free agency, it was that thing. But now with Mark getting his deal, can you just kind of talk about Isaiah, Mark, and Pat? I know you talked about Pat a little bit there, but kind of the dynamic you have with those guys and kind of what the room was like, because I know that there are a lot of conversations about all you guys, all four of you, but I think that, in my opinion, you guys are the best tight end room in the league, and I think that I at least appreciated knowing that at least at your position, you had all those guys ready and available, ready to rock.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It means a lot. We talked about it yesterday. When you have it's so crazy how fast the NFL season is over. You play the game, you get home at 4 a.m., you can't sleep, you get up for a team meeting, bam, the season's over. You never see half those guys again. It's just wild. Um, so we were in the tight end room afterwards with George and the tight ends, and we were all talking, and it was just very mutual in the sentiment that a lot of gratitude. You spend so much time with that group, and I just, man, it was a joy to. It was a challenge, because we're all, I think, quite talented, and we're all pushing each other for, for reps, for target, for playing time. Like, that's exactly how you want it, though, because it was on the other side. You also have support from each other. Like, that's exactly what you need in your position room. And so, I'm so grateful for those guys. These 4 years. I know there's, obviously, there's a really good chance that not all four of us are back, so it's going to look different in some capacity. But I'm incredibly grateful. Pretty rare that, you know, over a 4 year span, you have mostly the same continuity inside in room, and that's pretty crazy. And I think it was awesome. And I think it was genuinely awesome. And I hope in some capacity we get to work together again. We'll see what that works like. But I know that, so, three of us are now free agents. Now Mark resigns. So we'll see. Obviously, Pat is older. I know he's been the same team his whole life, and it's fits so well with him. And I know Isaiah and I, it's our first time going through free agency, so it's much different. Uh, and I just think the world of those guys. I think wherever they go, whether it's here or somewhere else, they're going to continue. And I think you're going to see, you know, as cool as it is to play together. Obviously, we do naturally, take some of others' playing time and targets, and I feel like you're going to see if we do end up in different spots, a lot more statistical from these guys because, like, I mean, Mark and Isaiah could both have 100 plus targets, and they both get half that. So I mean, it's just, it's gonna be really cool to see no matter how it plays out. Yeah, I just, as sad as it is, I do feel incredibly grateful. I get to do a job that I never thought I was going to do. I never thought I was going to play in the NFL until, maybe third year college, second, third year college. Uh, and it's such a good group of guys on the team. It's kind of what makes it hurt so much more. And such a good group of people in the tight end room. So it's a great room.
One of the things that I always tell people when I played baseball, Charlie, I didn't get a chance to get to the big leagues. I got to AAA, right? So one level below. Um, One thing I always appreciated more than anything was what how I was viewed by others that I interacted with, but then my peers. So why I'm bringing this up to you, um, how you're viewed in the Ravens community. I don't know if you know this or not. People love you, dude. They love your personality. They love how you interact. They love how you make them feel. And they also recognize a dude that embodies the mantra of play like a Raven, like you did. And you also you did the dirty work and you got better every year and you busted your ass. So the fans and community recognize that, but then your own peers, your teammates talk about you. And that was, to me, what always stuck with me as a player was how I was viewed by those people closest to me. So I hope you recognize that. I think you already know that.
That means a
And
lot.
even Nick Moore, I don't know if Nick's nice to you, and I don't care what he says because Nick's Nick. Just kidding. He's a good kid. If he thinks he can beat you in a race, don't know if that's true. He says he can get to 20 miles an hour now. That's
In a truck. Yeah.
I don't know about that, but I hope you know that.
That means a lot. I appreciate it.
So
I have great parents that raised me my way. I'm incredibly blessed with parents and siblings. And then, I had a coach a long time ago tell me that stats and wins fade, but who you are and how you make people feel never changes, and it always remains. And try to do the best I can. I'm certainly flawed, like we all are, but I've always believed that if you try to do the right thing, you work as hard as you possibly can, and you trust God with the rest, usually good things work out. And if they don't, usually there's another plan you can't see. So, but no, I appreciate that. That's very kind.
yeah, man. Well, hey, I hope the best for you. I hope you enjoy how do you play your golf again? The mulligan rounds. I forget what you said on that day.
I don't know.
Style.
I don't know exactly. I never let my score dictate my enjoyment of the round. But
Yeah, you had a phrase though that you used.
oh man, I love mulligans. I can't remember. Probably a dumb one liner. I don't. I feel like I'm kind of a dork, and so I think it's hilarious when, like, people actually think it's funny. But I I genuinely, like, it's not that I don't like work incredibly hard at things in life. I just don't take the non-important things that seriously. And I think sometimes Mads and I have a little bit of discussions about that, my fiance, because I get very, like, even wedding planning, obviously, it's like everyone talks about. It'll buff out, it'll work out. But I need to work on that certainly. But no, I try to have fun with golf and everything. It's just life's too short, and I'm so incredibly blessed. So I try to be grateful.
Are you stressed about or wedding planning? You good coming from someone that just went through it 2 months ago, 3 months
Oh
ago?
no, we're good. We're good. We got
You're locked.
we got our hired a wedding planner. She helps out a ton. I'm certainly increasingly surprised at how much that industry charges for everything, to say the least.
Dude.
I feel that the market value of things are overinflated, but I I'm very grateful for that. I am financially blessed. We actually start our marriage prep next week. Super excited about that. Just booked our honeymoon, so no, it's great. We're in a good spot. We get married in April. I'm super excited. I invited a lot of guys that I've played with the last few years and in college, so it's a great time. It's crazy how short these things are. Spend every day with these people, and then bam, it's over. So like, I'm really excited for things like that, to see those people, and excited to start my life with Mads. But no, we got tons of stuff done before the season started, and we're in a good spot.
Oh yeah, man. Well, enjoy all of it. I just went through the wedding, the honeymoon, went to Paris and
That's awesome.
Switzerland, and you're gonna have a great time. And the other thing that you mentioned, when you play professionally or around people, you have two families. You have your family life when you're done, and you have your family of brothers when you're there that you spend just as much time, if not more, there. So, hey, just let the good times roll, man. I hope we'll see what happens. I hope you stay in Baltimore, but whatever happens, man, you're gonna crush it. Wish you nothing but the best. I'll keep tabs on you though, and hopefully we'll have you back on where it's not about the timing of this.
Yeah, interesting.
I'd rather you
timing.
talk about like Taylor Swift concerts or whatever when you're at tight end U. Like that seemed more cool to me.
Yeah, it's never fun to talk about people getting fired, but I understand it's what
No.
everyone wants to hear. So no, I gotta run, but I appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Charlie.
See you guys. Have a
Thanks,
good evening.
Charlie. See ya.
Thanks, Charlie.